It is Tuesday the 14th at midnight. We're in the Abattoir. We are slaughtered in the Abattoir yet again. Now, this might turn out to be a bit of a dog's breakfast because I've got a wee bit overexcited when some people who hadn't been invited along to be on the podcast turned up and seemed like a load of fun. And some people who were invited to the podcast couldn't turn up. We don't care, they were rubbish. But who we do have is Noel James, Britain's Got Talent.
Hello.
Is that it?
Yes.
You made the fucking semi-finals of Britain's Got Talent, Noel.
Yes, I did, yes.
You're here to be hilarious.
Oh, sorry.
Slightly quirky.
Sorry, I forgot. I made the semi-finals of Britain's Got Talent, which means I can empathise with the England football team. And I've just come back from a festival in Loch Ness. Well, I caught the tail end of it.
Hey! I'm not following it. I'm not following it.
Right?
We'll be probing deeper into the...
I hope so.
You see, and now talking of double entendre, next to you, I'm ashamed to say this is the level of professionalism of this podcast. I've got no idea what your fucking name is than you're Benny Hill.
My name is Liam Tobin and I am playing Benny Hill, yes. In a show called Benny, about the life of, surprisingly enough,
Benny Hill.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So, hello viewers! Yes, I think I should probably say.
Oh, no, do Benny.
Well, that's probably about the length of it. Good evening, viewers! Welcome along to the Underbelly, to the podcast. Thank you. Is this on? There we go. How's that?
Hilarious.
There we go.
Now, the reason the producer of the Benny Hill, it's not the Benny Hill show, of Benny, is one of the single greatest human beings I've ever met in all my years at the Fringe. And I don't normally say that about a producer because they're normally cunts.
And most of them are double humans.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike Blaha.
Hello.
You see, mild-mannered, gentle giant.
Reporter.
Yeah, but what you wouldn't know, mild-mannered, gentle giant producer of hopeful Fringe hours in Edinburgh, but by day, he is a cutthroat, evil, stab you in the back, take no prisoners, high-end Hollywood entertainment lawyer.
Part of that is true.
You've worked with them all.
Yeah. Pamela Anderson. Yeah. Did you know about that one? Did we talk about
No,
Pamela
tell
Anderson?
me.
Yeah, the Pamela Anderson days when she was on Baywatch. I was her lawyer for a bit. And then she married Tommy Lee and fired everybody. The weekend she met Tommy Lee, she fired all of her team.
So you weren't there at the time of the sex tape?
No, that was after. That was after she sued me.
She sued you?
Yeah, she sued me for malpractice after that. She sued everybody.
Wow.
I guess Tommy Lee was a sort of a Svengali character or something. I don't know.
Wow.
But yeah.
You see, sometimes the producers are every bit as interested
I know,
as
we've
the
been
show.
upstaged by the producer.
I know. That's it. You can go now, by the way.
Yeah, we can leave.
You've done the Benny Hill impression. You've had your free drink.
Yeah, let's go.
That's it.
Now, next to Benny is the show's director. And you're basically here. You seem like a lovely man, but you're basically here because it kind of tickles me to hear you talking Welshly with Noel, and I thought it might make him feel a little bit more relaxed.
You liar. You didn't know any about this before.
No, I didn't
mentioned the fact that...
Didn't have a clue. I just heard the comedy accent.
Oh, the comedy accent.
Comedy accent. Yeah,
That's better than calling it a disability, I suppose.
But he's got the full-on, boyo.
Yes, yeah, I've got the full-on boyo. The Dylan Thomas, if you will.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I think I might just have come in my pants.
I haven't even done any Dylan yet.
No, but you spoke Welsh accent, deep voice, mentioned Dylan Thomas. It has been so long since I've seen any action that's all it takes nowadays.
Well, then my work here is done.
Frank. Yeah. Oh, my work here is done.
Or it's only just beginning.
Do you not feel sometimes you want to Welsh it up a bit, no?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Moving on. So, was Benny Hill Welsh?
No, he was from Southampton. So yeah.
So what drew you to
Tommy
Benny?
Cooper was Welsh. He's from Caerphilly.
And you get more Welsh when you say the names.
I may do. I'm not conscious of the way I
Go on,
speak.
say Aberystwyth.
Aberystwyth.
You're taking the piss now. You're on very thin ice now. I mean, I know you've been on the telly and everything, but, you know...
Yes, I was on Crime Watch. And it went very well, thanks.
So how did the Benny show come about?
The
writer is Welsh as well.
The writer is Welsh, but he was asked by a theatre in Southampton to write 15 minutes of anything he wanted. And he went after Southampton's favourite son, which is Benny Hill, and it grew from there.
I see.
So it was a 15-minute piece that has developed to this.
Crikey. And at what point did you get involved?
We've worked together for a long, long time. He phoned me, mentioned Benny Hill. I had no idea really because I'm too young. I know you wouldn't believe it.
That's like a dagger in my sad old heart. You never...
Well, I knew of Yakety Sax and the chase scenes, but I didn't really know much about him, so I had to do a hell of a lot of research. As did...
I bet you that was fun.
Well, yeah.
Oh no, more breasts. This is dreadful.
Yeah.
Only 56 more programs to watch.
That's also a reflection of the fact that Benny Hill was banned basically from our television screens really after throughout the 90s, wasn't he? Because he was seen as politically incorrect.
Yep.
So he was never repeated, which is why you weren't familiar with him probably.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
this is right. And if you speak to anyone, I had a conversation with somebody under 40 tonight, and he's only 38, but he said no, I just passed him by, and I think I remember him as a kid. I remember my dad used to watch him. I remember watching him and loving him as a kid. But yeah, he's vanished since then.
But I think Benny Hill was potentially brilliant, really funny man. But I think in the 70s he did start relying too much on half-naked ladies.
What is
in the
wrong with
70s?
half-naked
Well, there was
women?
no humour in it, was there? After a while, it's just.
I think that depends. You're saying women are not funny, even when they're half naked.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
No, I think you were no.
Well, there's no way out of that, then, is there?
No, there isn't. Thanks very much. I was a lawyer too, by the way.
Well, I can tell.
That's why we bought
You were a
that name.
clitoris. I mean, a solicitor. I mean, a bit of a. Oh, sorry. But can I just say there is another Welsh connection on this table tonight?
Oh, dear.
Because your next guest, Matt Price, who is from Cornwall, he and I lived and shared a flat in Cardiff together for a year.
Really?
Yeah,
We did, yeah.
Now, Matt, you've got to lean forward.
I am leaning
Point out
forward.
the way.
I'm here.
Speak up.
I'm very fond of Wales. Lived there for a long time. Cornish, obviously. Today in my show, I played. We don't have a national anthem. The Welsh national anthem is beautiful, isn't it? It's incredible. It's the most.
We might have a chorus of that at the end.
It's just the most powerful, incredible anthem in the world. The closest we've got is a song called "Going Up Camborne Hill," which is about the steam train that Tobin invented that came from the Welsh valleys.
Okay, give us a blast.
I can't sing it, but I'm not singing. But today, two people from Cornwall in my show stood up as a mark of respect for what is almost the Cornish national anthem. Yeah,
Well, even though you weren't actually singing it yourself, you just quoted
Oh no, I
it.
played it. I played it.
Oh, you played it?
Yeah, I played it at the start of the show.
Yeah.
It's just to let everyone know the show
Oh, wow.
started.
Excellent.
For 30 seconds, and I just said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Cornish national anthem, and two people from Cornwall stood up.
Proper job.
Yeah, a proper job, isn't it? Beautiful.
Did they know it's about a train?
Isn't it? Well, it's about a train.
Yeah, but did they know that?
Of course they know that. Yeah.
Those silver tones you heard there, the silver tones of For My Money, which generally speaking, because she's on the free fringe and I get free tickets anyway, it isn't. But if it were my money, it would be For My Money. She's the funniest woman in the world. And she is Martha McBrier. Say hello, Martha.
You are not right in the head. You are the only person that thinks that. Only you. Nobody else thinks that. Everybody else goes, who's she?
There's two.
Who's she?
That's because they haven't seen you yet. No, have you seen Martha work?
I've never seen Martha. I've heard a lot about Martha, but I've never seen Martha work.
She is
And the funniest
like-
women in the world.
Wow.
That's what I hear.
That
That's the word on the
Martha
street, Martha.
McBrier
Yes.
is funny. There's a lot. I've seen a lot of great shows by women.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, quite a few. Well, some. No, but I saw
That's the thing. Go ahead.
I saw Jessie Cave this morning, and oh my God, it is perfect. It's just perfect. It's just beautiful and so funny and wonderful. Anyway, so it's not like I don't find other women funny.
No.
But,
Well, that's one rumour put to bed then.
well, exactly. I find women irritating. In fact, frequently incredibly annoying. I find them, I think they overcomplicate everything. They get far too emotional about just about everything, but that doesn't mean they can't be funny. I just don't get on with quite a lot of them.
Okay.
You just think that it's like the stunned into silence.
Can we say?
I find them
Two
to be
hairy Welshmen and a wee baldy English one.
wonderful, mystical creatures.
I'm Welsh.
Are they?
Yeah, I guess. They're
really?
mystical.
You should insert that more. So
I'm
why
not
do you
English.
find, why is it, what's it about women that you find annoying then?
Well, they just overcomplicate everything.
Oh, like what? for
Well,
example?
like everything. Like, you are never, ever, ever going to have a shag as a woman with a bloke and then have that bloke roll over and go, so what are you thinking? Big fucking deal. What does it matter what
Matt
you're
does
thinking?
that.
What does it matter what you're thinking? We've only just met. We did meeting, drinks, fuck. And now you want to know what I'm thinking? Too personal.
Oh, you mean you have to have a drink first?
Yeah,
before you
God, I didn't know that.
That's so annoying, isn't it?
It's a whole new program.
Classy. It's classy.
But, you see, because this is...
You don't think the exchange of bodily fluids allows you to inquire about their feelings?
No. You see, this is the thing. Feelings well, they're supposed to happen in the heart, but they don't. That's for pumping blood. Feelings happen in the brain, right?
And the penis also.
The brain, I'm talking emotional feelings.
sorry.
Unless
So
you
is
have a
mine,
penis
I think.
unlike any other. Oh my goodness. Not only is he the most wonderful producer ever to come to things, but he has a magical feeling penis. You are going to be so laid for the rest of the festival.
Yeah, right. That's it.
No, but feelings happen in the head. And that, correct me, in most people, and I am not having in any way a go at persons of restricted growth, but generally speaking, in the adult human, the brain is quite far removed from the genitals. So what you do with your genitals does not necessarily have to have an effect on the touchy-feely, thinky parts.
I
And
think
in
you're
fact-
overcomplicating that.
Touché, Martha. Touché. Meanwhile, back to comedy at the Fringe. Hurrah! No, I do. I can't be... And it's very hard. Because...
It is very hard now, I tell you what.
This sofa's got a lot more crowded.
You can't say that feelings are restricted to the brain. That's ridiculous. Feelings come from inside as well. From inside somewhere.
Okay, how much do you know about human anatomy? Apart from the fact that the vagus nerve does kind of run down, but that's... No, feelings are... This is really amazingly fantastic. I'm so glad the people that didn't turn up. This is marvelous. No, it's
The Vegas?
Sex is just...
Big
it's a
move.
thing that works with your autonomic nervous system to do... It's a thing that if you press it, you die.
Christ. So possibly we
She
don't
said-
know where it
Vic-
is. Probably best that we don't know.
Broadly speaking. But no. Just, having sex is just banging your bits together. Feeling something is completely different. Right, how many people here can put their hand on whatever part of their anatomy they wish to and say that they have had, it's impossible to have really amazingly good, hot sex, but you have to be involved with the person. Are you married?
Oh, you can go to a prostitute if you want and have
Well,
hot
there
sex,
we go, you
can't
see? Sex and feelings, different.
No, I'm not disagreeing about that. I'm just saying that feelings can come from inside. If you are sad about something, or your mother's just died or something, you're not thinking feelings, are you? You're coming from there, you can't stop them.
No, but I think you scientifically, they do come from your brain. They don't come from your heart. Your heart just pumps blood. Or are you? Are you religious?
They don't come from your heart per se, but you said it's all in the mind, all in the brain. It's
Well, it
not.
is.
Well, what do you think?
Yeah.
Now, Luke, you see, you're,
Well, I guess
you're not
who
here.
knows where it comes from? It feels like it's from within rather than from.
You should be
from
used to
here.
this kind of
Well, who
discussion.
knows?
You're a fucking actor.
Yeah, and I played Benny Hill, so we know much
Well,
about
good
what we
point.
did.
What have you played apart from Benny Hill? I should know this. I know, but I don't.
I should have said
Probably
you.
really
Yeah,
shouldn't
your
know
producer
it.
should have filled me
Probably
in.
really shouldn't know it at all.
This is where we find out that you've just played Lear in Cardiff.
No, I've just played Peer Gynt in Liverpool, if that's any kind
Good
of...
grief.
Or one of them, anyway. In a
How
new
many Peer
version.
Gynts were there in Liverpool?
Well, there was 3 in this version. It's a new version called The Big I Am. I'm doing a publicity for someone else's show here. It was a new version called The Big I Am, and there was a younger Peer Gynt, a middle-aged Peer Gynt, and an older Peer Gynt. So
And you were playing the younger Peer Gynt, of
thank
course.
you very much, of course. So, yes, I've just played Peer Gynt and just finished that before going
So you're a
to
proper actor.
Well, you know, I try. Although you do feel like a turn. You sometimes wonder, you know.
I'm very
really.
glad about
We're all
that.
just turns, really, aren't we? But yes, I am.
Yes, we are. We most definitely are.
We're just turns.
And problems happen when people get above themselves. I was talking to Scott Capurro and David Mills
I saw him walk out.
outside, you know, and they were going, everybody's here going, oh, it was so difficult just to get on stage today, and I struggle with my demons and my black dog, and sometimes I just don't feel like going on stage. But, well, you're a stand-up comic, for fuck's sake. You are not doing it. You know, you're not helping anybody. You're not improving anything for anybody apart from you. So it's not like anyone's forcing you up there. You're there because you want to be up there. Let's not pretend you've got a bayonet in your back and you're being forced up over the top to rush into no man's land.
You actually are a hostage, though, right? When you go on, you're at the.
Yeah. I was just kind of astounded at your empathy there.
Thank you,
I
Martha.
know. And the joys, but I know what you mean, and I hate to hear people kind of whining, you know, oh, you know, this, that, and the other about, and I do kind of think, get a good fucking hard long look at yourself, then a grip of yourself, and then press your vagus nerve and don't stop because you're getting on my nerves. You know, you're lucky if you're an artist, you know, doing the thing you like to do, you're not standing 8 hours, you know, giving somebody an enema.
That
Or
sounds
maybe
like
you
quite
are,
good fun
in
for
fact.
the way my
But,
life's
you know,
going.
It's probably happening somewhere at the Fringe,
Yeah.
isn't it? In a show.
Absolutely. So, you brought... How did you think that doing Britain's Got Talent
Yeah.
was going to... Well, obviously you did. Propel you...
No, I didn't know what was going to happen. It was a gamble because I've seen in the past people be humiliated on the show. And
What, you mean, like comics being humiliated?
oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Comics.
Like who?
Well, some of these comedians, they call themselves comedians. As I said to you in that interview, some people call themselves comedians, but they've only been in a pub and made their mates laugh, and they go on television in front of millions of people. So, and also, even if you are an experienced performer of any kind, if the judges misunderstand what you're doing, within the first few seconds they could buzz you. And if you're a comedian, there's more chance of them misunderstanding you because you don't quite get the humour or whatever. So I think last year with Deliso Shapondo, he was such an inspiration because he clearly showed that they are accepting and embracing stand-up comedy a bit more on that show. And then you got David Walliams as one of the judges who understands. So it was a gamble. I thought there was a good chance I'd be buzzed off and made to look ridiculous. So it was a risk,
But you were saying... I mean, I hope you don't...
no, I don't.
If you don't
mind.
want to talk about this,
No,
just
that's
don't.
fine.
But you were saying that you'd reached...
Yeah.
That, you know, because a lot of people on the comedy circuit, and I know neither Matt nor Martha has said anything, but there's a lot of them And interestingly, mainly people that nobody has ever heard of at all are on Facebook or on various comedy forums or fora saying, oh, I'd rather... What was one guy said? I'd rather cut my balls off and sit in a bath of vinegar than ever go on Britain's Got Talent. They're all going, oh, it's dreadful. But...
yeah, well, a lot of that comes from, genuine artistic, maybe ignorance. A lot of it's jealousy or envy or frustration that they know there's a chance they could succeed if they dared do it. But they know...
It was because there wasn't the support or the work or the whatever on the live circuit that seems to be so against something like Britain's Got Talent that you went on Britain's
Yeah, that's
Got
why I
Talent.
did it. There's no... I said to you, there's people who don't return your emails. There's people you've done good work for, good gigs for. You can't get them. People who say to you and treat you and give you a hug like they're your buddy. They say they're going to give you a gig and they never get back to you. It was just getting to me, just got to me. I got really
Do you find
down.
that, Matt?
Yeah, definitely. It's changed completely, isn't it? People want something different these days. We're following what happened in the United States. So it was fashionable to be a comedian, then the bubble burst. Now it's getting harder to get gigs, and I get it completely. The reason I wouldn't have done Britain's Got Talent is because I heard that Simon Cowell didn't like comedians. So I think, and that was something that I'd heard. Nothing to do with artistic integrity or anything like that. Just I thought, well, and when I knew you were doing it, I was, God, please let this work out, and it did. So what an incredible risk to take. And anyone who judges, well, it's on them. It's none of their business.
I don't think Simon. I mean, I think Simon Cowell can be quite clinical and quite harsh. I don't know if he actually gets a lot of humour, because I didn't agree with some of his comments that he made about me, in that, you didn't have confidence until halfway through, which is, as far as I'm concerned, that was total bollocks, because I went for it, Yeah. And then he was saying about another comedian, basically he was saying there's only 2 comedians I've seen on this series who could make a living out of it, and he was referring to Robert White and Lost Voice Guy. And of course, because I do a part-time job for 1 month of the year as an exam invigilator, that's what they put on the screen.
Yeah.
So to Simon Cowell, he liked to play the story that I wasn't a full-time... I've been a full-time comedian for 25 years. Yeah. So what he was saying was, clearly, the other judges kind of got the humour more, and well, there you go.
And he is wrong about it, and I'm not saying this to embarrass you in any way, but Dylan Moran always mentions you he's mentioned you in interviews as being an influence. Quite a few people have. There's a lot of comics that do. Who will say, like Dan Evans, without fail, every time I see him, excellent comedian, always says, how's Noel James? He always does.
Yeah, well,
every time,
that's great.
Because
that's great. But
And it is a different thing when, like a newbie who can't wait to get on TV, does it, kind of flings it at the wall to see if it will stick, and a bit of a comedy ledge, like you, because you are.
Am I?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does it, and that's different.
I'm a ledge that I like to stand on and jump off.
Mike is now going to roll his eyes skywards and sigh heavily, because this is something that I bring up pretty much every time I talk about him. Mike discovered and pretty much created the Pyjama Men.
Oh, yeah.
Hey up.
Yeah.
You didn't, did you?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He went and he found them, and they weren't even the Pyjama Men there. They were called...
Sabotage. In their original incarnation.
Brought them to Edinburgh.
In Vancouver, Canada, I found them. They're from Albuquerque, New Mexico, but they were at the Vancouver Fringe when I stumbled across them.
Because they were...
Are they doing a show up here then? Or?
No, they're not. Snow is up. I was just telling Gareth, Snow is coming up, but they're not split, but they're not currently working together. So they're trying to get a TV show going, and I don't know, it just hasn't.
So with an odd act like that, you can't imagine that fitting anywhere, but it's a kind of genius. So how do you, as a producer, because it's one thing going, it's fucking brilliant, they should do a show at the Edinburgh Festival, and quite another to go, whoa, you're brilliant. You should do a show at the Edinburgh Festival. Here is my checkbook, and I will pay for you.
Yeah.
And so what did you see? And what made you...
It was just something I'd never seen anything like it. It was so unique that I figured there's got to be people that will respond to this. Have you seen them? Do you know?
I was wondering if you could describe them.
Oh, the Pajama Men. They've been described as like the Mighty Boosh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're
They're way better than the Mighty Boosh.
Okay, fair enough. But I mean, that's one of the comparisons.
It's kind
that
of
was made to them.
long form character comedy where the characters morph into each other, and by the time you're halfway through, you go, shit, this is a narrative. It's not a load of individual sketches, because characters come back, and it was always just them and a couple of chairs and crazy characters.
Yeah, lunacy, complete crazy stuff with Martians and cowboys. Oh, sorry. And I don't know. I just thought they were like unique, basically.
How many in the group?
Two.
Just two. Oh, really?
Yeah. They won the double act one year. They got the first year up. They got nominated. It was still the Perrier back in the day for best newcomers. So, and then they wound up doing very well for a few years. They were up there until about 2015.
Yeah.
And I think it was the last time they performed.
And then the huge mistake they made, and it's because this year Matt has just got himself a big promoter.
Clafford. Is it Bound and Gagged?
Bound and Gagged.
Oh, Bound and Gagged.
Mate.
That's huge.
Mate.
That's massive.
We first got our own catchphrase from years ago from Keith Davis.
Can people try not to bang the mics,
sorry.
please? You're giving our lovely man over there with the headphones a severe headache.
No,
Sorry about that.
Yes.
Matt's just got Bound and Gagged, and
Can I just say that Matt is well known to be a storyteller, but what a lot of people don't realise about Matt, he's actually a brilliant joke writer, and he's a fun. You can come up with some brilliant jokes, and it's really weird because you choose not to do them.
I've started to do jokes again now. I tell you what, because I'm trying to. Yeah, I am. And
see, this is now he's with the big management.
when I started that,
all the jokes are coming out now.
But it's I saw. Am I allowed to mention my PR? I saw her earlier on, and she said hello, and I went, mwah, and she went mwah, back like that, and I thought, I've arrived, mate.
That's it.
I've never done it. But she
Slippery slope.
She didn't bat an eyelid. She was just, and I never do that. I never did, but I thought, well, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I never do that. I never do that. Sorry about that, mate. I won't touch the
But
microphone.
that's it. You've started ear kissing. Martha,
I have indeed, yeah. And I can write a good
he
joke.
needs
yeah.
to be disciplined.
I can-
What are you doing?
He's starting
about
to
that.
ear kiss.
No, just once with the PR, and she did it back like it was nothing.
Did you go in with irony, or were you taking the piss, or did you just have to go? What did you pitch it?
I'll be honest,
He was
with
taking the
you.
piss.
I was just testing it out to see if it works.
Yeah.
Like a sort of a superpower. You know, because I haven't even blown a kiss at you before. Don't feel left out, love. and I just thought, well, I'll try it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And it worked. And she just did it straight back, and I thought, this really works.
Yep.
This is great. I'm not going to use up the power too much. I'm going to do it again.
Yep.
At some point.
Yep.
I don't know. You know, but I'm not going to waste it. No.
What you've got to watch for.
I feel terrible
With
now.
great
because-
power and
Yeah,
all.
what you got to watch for is when you start doing the heart-shaped thing with your hands at people.
You know,
No,
like
then-
Gareth Bale does that, doesn't he?
Gareth Bale does do that, yeah. That's
What,
the
the
first time
heart-shaped
that's been
thing?
referenced up here.
Oh, no, that's
real-
This is
I can't even do it.
for the Welsh football team.
Thank you very much. I can usually come to Edinburgh and get away with that. I say Gareth Bale and people go, oh, there we are. That's a normal name. But no, you called me out on it. And fair enough.
That's right.
Because he is a bit of a legend.
No, there's a comedian
I
in
am
Swansea called Geraint Thomas as well, which is weird.
Yeah?
Yeah, because Geraint Thomas won the Tour de France the other day, and
Did he
was,
really?
he was in my dressing room. He was in my dressing room this afternoon, but I did ask for a rider. Hey up, you're right, Chuck.
right. Come on, Matt, you've got to do a gag now. He's going to gag.
I'm not sure. I feel like I'm under pressure now.
Yes, you are.
I'm not.
That's because you are under pressure.
What it used to be, we would chat, and then because you were so good at writing jokes, you would say stuff, and then I would try and say something back, but I can't do it sort of on, you know.
Nigel.
Did you see what I mean?
Nigel, I think you might have made a mistake
can we
here.
edit this bit out of the podcast? I feel like I'm under pressure now, but no, I can't. You can't just pull a joke out of nowhere, can you?
You're a professional fucking comedian.
I'm sorry, man.
You're definitely a professional critic, because that was harsh, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was brutal, that was.
Did that sound harsh?
Yes. Well, no, well, you were
Maybe
certainly.
it's the
you
way
were
I
certainly
tell it.
critical.
You can't help it. That's just
But
what,
what I was going to say is, management can make a huge.
Can it?
Well, Matt, you've got not exactly a whole different approach this year, but there's a lot more. I think the gig went okay. Yeah, I did this. Well, yeah, I put in a few extra gaps. Much more like you're a player than sitting in corners crying because you feel unworthy.
Are you saying that because you've spoken to him before, or are you just judging on him now, or what?
Me judge?
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is.
No. I've been a fan of Matt's for years.
Great, I have too. But
And I've gone to see him. I've gone to see him.
I'm a fan.
And Martha in the kind of venues where
Yeah.
you have to take kind of prophylactic caniston before you go in, just in case there's some hideousness. And he's a bit different this year.
Okay.
He is a bit different this year.
The thing about it is, I don't know what you think about this, Mr. Noel James. Sorry, I banged the mic. We're allowed to have another pint now.
Now, please keep. Okay. There is a lovely, lovely, lovely young woman coming to ask
Can I have another pint?
if we all want more drinks.
Thank you
Now,
very much.
in a proper professional podcast, people would just make secret signs and not stop the entire fucking interview
Thank you very much.
to order another beer. But oh my God, Benny Hill's just got up out his seat. No, you can't go to the toilet. He's ordering wine for his wife now. This is all just going so horribly wrong.
yeah, I'm fine.
It's just a nightmare. I should never
I
have
wish the
invited
fun
you Welsh
people were
along.
here.
What's that?
Right,
The
that's
fun
it.
people, I wish they were here.
Yeah, well, I know.
Off we go.
Right, that's.
Off we go. We're not going to be treated by our Caledonian cousins in such an underhand way. We'd rather go and be shot on by the English.
At least if I'm going to have a go, you're going to see it coming.
Oh! Was that a joke?
No, it wasn't.
Anyway,
Promise, I think.
has management changed your approach to comedy?
No, it hasn't. I tell you what's changed my approach to comedy. The fact is, it's a lot harder to be a comedian these days. And if you want to survive, you just got to be better. So what I'm doing, rather than pissing about, I'm allowed to say pissing, pissing about telling a story, I'm thinking to myself, right, where's the funny bit and what are the words I can get rid of? Because that's how you do what you do, by making it word perfect. Syllable perfect, isn't it? So I'm not saying I am, but that's what I'm aiming towards.
But that means for all these years you've been doing stories, you were conscious that it wasn't the best you could do then?
Slightly, yes. I was well. Also, I was learning my trade as well. You've got to, because for me, despite what anyone says, it's a 10-year apprenticeship. You can watch someone when they walk out on stage. I remember I've been going for about 5 years, and it was I saw Ian Stone, and I said to him, when I walk out on stage and I say hello, and the audience go no, I said, you walk out and you say hello. It's the same word, but why does it have a different meaning? And he said, mate, I've reached a point where I care, but not care at the same time. And you get that Zen-like state where you do care, but you don't care, and you're not self-conscious, I have anyway, after about 10 years. And then you start to think about, well, hang on, I've got all the tools now, not all the tools, I've got the looks or whatever, or the fashion, but I can work a crowd, I can interact with people, I know my range as well, so I can deliver a joke or a story in about 10 different ways. Sometimes it's unplugged, sometimes it's,
Okay, so how did getting Nigel Clafford as a manager come about then?
Luck, pure luck. And he's producing the show.
Did he meet you in a gig or something?
Yeah, well, I've known him for a while anyway.
All right.
But it's nothing about. It's about the art form, isn't it? It's about trying to be a better comic. And it's like when
it's also about, if you do Edinburgh.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get an audience in.
Yeah.
And you can do Edinburgh on cheap, like
Yeah.
free fringe, or you can do it, as they say, properly,
Yeah.
and get lots of budget and lots of people
Yeah.
to produce it for you, which is what you've done this year.
I've done it this year, and
Yeah.
it's fine, and it's good. I mean, I
And you're
enjoy
selling
it,
out, right?
And it's not. I've sold out a few times. Yeah, it's going well.
Unfortunately, Matt and Martha will be homeless for the rest of the year.
and it's fine. But I'm just trying to I'm trying to be as good as I can be, and all the people who were really good, they put in. Thank you very much. Hundreds of hours, lots of years, and it takes a long time to really hone that. I mean, I don't know if you watch yourself on Britain's Got Talent, but it was really excellent, mate. Really, really good. And we both said that as well. I wouldn't say that.
Well, I did watch myself,
brilliant.
because as I was on stage, I was
fantastic.
watching my feet, and they were very funny that night.
Yes, absolutely.
But you know what? Apparently, you'll be interested in this. I was
want to
told
get a
in
leg up.
Scotland now it's now possible to catch the Loch Ness monster using a giant fishing rod. Did you know?
I didn't know that.
They've
No.
tried it before, but now they perfected it because they fixed the bait. Because what happened was, since our Scottish referendum a couple of years ago, it opened up a massive can of worms. And they're using those fucking worms to lure the Loch Ness monster out of the loch like a giant heraldic symbol of Scottish pride, which is far more powerful than the sturgeon or the salmon. Hey-o, bingo!
That was layered.
Yeah, that was layered, wasn't it?
That was
Stick with that.
that was
That's what I
awesome.
mean.
I'm going to be layered all this festival.
Yeah. Couple of things to pick you up on. Number one, I think doing the free fringe is doing it properly. That is how it should be.
Yeah, but I can't be bothered doing the flyer in. Don't get me wrong, I do an hour a day, but it's just a fucking pain in the
It
ass.
is a nightmare. It is a
And
nightmare.
you're tempted to
But
just stay
suck it
home
the fuck
and
up.
treat it as a holiday. Oh, look at that. You're supposed to be a genteel fucking hostess.
Sorry.
You're treating us like shit.
That's some people pay for me to treat them like shit.
Really? Okay then.
Frankly,
I'm sorry, that was unkind of me.
This critic thing doesn't pay well. £27.50 a review, so I've got to get the money in somewhere. And Matt Price.
You must be strapped for cash.
This is genius.
But
While you're on a roll,
Yes.
let's just. Where's
Okay.
the show? When?
Oh, the show I'm doing is at a place called the Opium Bar. The Opium Bar is near opposite the Underbelly.
It is.
And it's at 6:15 every evening. And I'm doing a show called Lumber Puncture. And there's no particular joke in that title. It's just a homage to Spinal Tap, actually.
Oh, how wonderful. I just thought we'd get that plug in while the
Thank you very
memory of
much.
those really rather excellent gags was fresh in the mind. Now, Price.
Yes. I'm speaking to the
£20.
microphone,
Oh,
but
sorry.
not touching it.
Money in the bucket at the end. Now,
Yes.
I was horrified there to hear you say, you see, look, he's quivering now.
Yeah, a little
I
bit.
love it when I make men quiver.
and get paid for it.
I'll do you a special rate, Mike.
That's all I can ask.
You said that you felt, in answer to Noel's rather probing questioning there, that when you were doing storytelling comedy, you weren't, as they say now, living your best life.
No.
No, say nothing. I want to talk to Martha,
Yeah.
who's an
I'll answer that for him, shall I?
Yes, Martha, you answer this for him because you are a storytelling genius.
Stop it.
So, it's just people kind of diss sometimes
Yes.
the storytelling comedy. Either they come here and do it in a completely shite way, like this is what I did on my holidays.
Yeah.
But true storytelling comedy is a thing of great beauty, and you really need to go and see Martha
Okay.
in order to appreciate
No, you
it.
don't.
Yes, you do. Shut up. Whose podcast is this?
No, I've never really appreciated the genre. And, I would like to come and see you too.
Well, you should. So,
See, now I'm blushing. like a schoolgirl. But the thing about the storytelling thing, and Matt has always been brilliant at it, but there's this kind of snidey bit that people say it's not funny, storytelling, you don't, and gag. They'll say to me, people who I have never fucking laughed at, I'm gag, you're a storyteller, that's not funny. And actually storytelling, and always what Matt's done, it's full of jokes. It's just, they're just linked in a narrative. We love a narrative arc. We just do. And I used to do kind of a different type of comedy. And then when I went deaf, I couldn't do that anymore. And it was Matt that showed me that I could do storytelling, and that was funny. And since then, this bizarre woman on the fringe has been saying I'm great.
Really?
That would be you.
So, of course, because you can't really do thank fuck for somebody who doesn't banter with the audience, particularly, because you can't hear them.
No, I used to do that a fair bit, and now I don't, and I can't. Or if they try and banter, and you say, "What did you say?"
Ruins the moment.
That's just awkward.
Do you do a lot of banter? No.
I never used to, but I try and do a bit more now and chat to members of the audience, because I think it's a good builder of warmth, and you can get things going, and to be able to chat. It's like a tool. Like you can deal with hecklers, and you can pick up on incidents in the room. Like I do a little.
I mean, if you if you do it well. If it's not, it's just titting around for 10 minutes because you can't be arsed to write
what you've got to do is throw yourself into it. Throw yourself into it totally.
Yep.
And then it's, if you're not embarrassed about it, even if you don't get anything funny out of it, you just go with it.
Is it completely fourth wall, the Benny Hill play?
Absolutely
or
not.
is there?
Absolutely not. No.
You do banter.
Well,
you do Benny banter.
There's a little bit of Benny banter. I mean, it's all scripted, and it's all a little bit of audience
so not
participation.
Banter, script.
Yeah, a bit of audience participation, should we say? We'll call it that.
Not get your tits out for the lads.
No, not get your tits out for the lads. Though if people wish to, then I'm obviously not going to stand in their way. But no,
I saw they did. But
really,
an anomaly.
Yeah, that was just you in the back row.
Oh, well,
so are you planning on taking Benny to America?
Yeah, we're hoping to. Next summer, do the Hollywood Fringe. That's how Gareth and I first met. We had done one of Owen's first plays, Richard Parker, at the Hollywood Fringe, which is nowhere near this big. It's like only 300 and something shows, but we had a really good experience with Richard Parker. So.
Yeah, that went down well.
And Benny was huge in the United States.
Was he?
Growing up, it was on our public
Benny Hill is
television.
one of the most, if not the most, successfully exported British comedian of all time.
Yeah, it was a real.
He's adored and beloved around the world.
When I was in high school, it was a hipster, culty thing to know who Benny Hill was and to watch his show.
By and large.
So yeah, America is America not it's certainly in television terms a lot more tight-arsed than the UK.
Well, network is, but I mean, you can get on cable and now. I mean, come on, Game of Thrones on HBO. Have you seen that one? Or it's not comedy, but
I'm too poor for Netflix.
Yeah, fair enough. And speaking of, did you know Hannah Gadsby? Obviously.
Yeah.
Do you know how well that show's been reviewed in the States? My God.
Okay, quick round the table. What do we think of Nanette?
I think Nanette is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, it was tremendous, wasn't it? I mean, she had the Sydney Opera House in the palm of her hands, and she's incredible.
Now you see,
amazing.
I'm thinking as a comedic phenomenon. If you go, what did you think of Nanette?
Wasn't Nanette Newman? She wasn't that funny. But
She lost a lot of plates, though, didn't
Yeah,
she?
she did.
She got through a hell of a lot.
Yeah, but she was very liquid, didn't she?
Yeah, she
What
did.
do you think? I mean, as a dramatic director, not a dramatic, a director of drama, did you? It was much more kind of a piece of polemical drama, really, monologue.
Yes,
rather
it was,
than
rather
comedy
than
show.
stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it felt as though she was telling, getting a lot off. You know, she was. It was almost a therapy session, I felt, and that was good. It was good to hear. It was incredibly powerful. yes, it was funny, but it was deeper than that. And yeah, I mean, as I say, she had the whole place in the palm of her hand.
Matt, you've been. You see, now I'm doing it professionally. Would you two please stop chatting amongst yourselves?
Sorry.
I was on the brink of asking a sensible question
Wow.
that led on
A breakthrough.
from what your Welshman on the end there was saying,
Yeah.
and you've ruined the fucking moment.
Well, if you explained who Nanette
You
was,
can edit this out.
it might have helped.
She's a lovely woman. Mother used to clean our back stairs.
Ah, okay.
Now, if anyone remembers, before I was so rudely interrupted, your man on the end there, you can't see that, but he is on the end, was talking about almost a therapy session. So we'll edit out that bit with you two chatting off mic and move swiftly on to Matt. Okay, so here we go, right, and action. Matt, you've been accused of doing comedy as therapy,
No,
and you got really pissed off.
I accused myself of doing comedy as therapy. I was concerned because what I felt was going to happen this year, and I've been right to a certain extent, is that anybody who does anything now that is remotely serious, people will go, oh, it's a Nanette moment. And it's not, because people have been talking about personal things for quite a few years at the Fringe. And so what I didn't want was to come up here and do a very personal show and have people going, oh, he's trying to be Hannah Gadsby, because I'm not. I'm not from Tasmania. And
You're not a lesbian.
And I'm not a lesbian. I didn't really want to say that because that, you know, but I'm not anyway.
Well, to be fair, you do have sex with a woman.
Well, I do indeed.
And you are a devil.
And I am a devil. I'm a lesbian. I'm coming out on the podcast as a lesbian.
I'm hearing
And
2
I'm
out
very
of
proud
3
of
so
it.
far. I mean,
I'm very proud of it. And so, no, and I think it's very easy if something isn't funny. I think it's easy as a comic to do a storytelling show and talk a lot. And it's crap. If it's not going anywhere, it's pointless. And I've probably done that in the past, and what I didn't want to do was come up here and do a show that had a serious element to it because it happens to be part of the story, and then be accused of comedy as therapy, because you don't invest all this time and hard work in it. It can be therapeutic, as someone said to me recently, but if I wanted therapy, I could get it for 50 quid an hour. And I could go along and talk to someone for 50 minutes. They would give me 10 minutes of feedback at the end.
Yep.
And that feedback wouldn't be, well, you started well, but the middle was a bit hackneyed. and I felt the finale lacked anything. Yeah, so So, you know.
As a woman, McBrier,
Yes.
Well, you were talking to me then, but hey,
well, now that I know,
now we're out.
great breasts, by the way.
Thanks.
As a woman, McBrier, what did you think of Nanette?
Well, I loved it. I saw it at Soho Theatre, and people had been telling me all sorts about it, and everybody was so kind of mixed that I thought, yeah, I need to see that. And when I phoned up to get a ticket, the guy said, there aren't many belly laughs in it, he said. And I was like, yeah, that's good selling.
You should get that guy to flyer for you, Noel.
Ah, yes.
I believe that there were kind of two versions of it. There was a version that was much more personal and more like this polemic thing, and there was another one that was lighter. And I think I saw the later version. I think I saw Gadsby Light.
Gadsby Light. Did you see it, Mike?
no, I haven't done. No, in fact, I didn't even know about it. And somebody, the Hollywood Fringe runs the Soho Playhouse in New York, and I met him through a mutual friend, and we started talking. He said he had this comic that's done the Edinburgh Fringe a ton, staying in his apartment, and it was Hannah.
Oh my goodness.
And I didn't even, and so she'd done a run in New York at the Soho Playhouse in New York, which I always confused with the Soho Theater. But anyway, and so she was there. Yeah,
I mean, did anyone else see it here? I saw it here.
I remember it here.
Is that the
last
one she
year,
taped?
and
Is
it's
that the Netflix special?
absolutely sold
well,
out.
no, because it was in quite a small. One of the
She
You
was
saw
in
the
Assembly.
Soho Theater in
Assembly
London.
last year. and
Yeah.
one of the
it
smaller
sold
studios
out
in Assembly
in-
Theatre,
yeah.
and people were crammed in, and it was absolutely electric.
Yeah.
But it was kind of the apotheosis of the, I know, 4 espresso martinis in, and I can still use the word apotheosis in a correct context.
Of what?
I'll explain. The apotheosis of the comedy is therapy show.
Okay, so can you explain in a brief sentence why do you think it went down so well and was so popular then?
Because there's a section of comedy audiences, and especially middle-class Edinburgh comedy audiences, that love to feel they're seeing something deep, that love to feel they're seeing something that is exposing, that love to feel that they're seeing something brave. Hannah Gadsby had built up an enormous amount of goodwill because she'd done a whole series of brilliant shows.
Oh, the art history shows.
Her shows were just astoundingly wonderful. She's a phenomenal comedian, but more. Her shows always had layers. Her shows always had that feeling of kind of personal contact. That she is a brilliant writer and a phenomenal performer, and a genuinely wonderful human being, which is something that many comics aren't. And you can feel that in a performance. So that when she came to do Nanette, and no one really, she'd done a couple of shows about body image and some of her struggles, psychological, emotional struggles. Nobody really saw Nanette coming because she sort of turned round and said, she did the whole, I've been self-deprecating for so long, and self-deprecating is just self-harming. I've done both. It's not the same thing.
No, it's not the same.
But lovely. It's in the grand scheme of things. That was a kind of and it felt like in that tiny studio here, it felt like she was saying, "You're my problem," and I met because I sort of know her, and I bumped into her and I went, "For fuck's sake, you might have said that I was ruining."
You're my problem.
Yeah,
to
the audience,
audience.
because what she was saying was she'd been doing all this comedy for all this time,
Okay.
and it really wasn't what she needed or
I
wanted
think that's interesting,
to
because
do.
I was going to ask whether you felt it was better in that confined space rather than...
It was certainly massively powerful.
Yeah, the Netflix version is Sydney Opera House, and you can hear a pin drop. So whether it works in a smaller space
Yes,
rather
unfortunately, it's a pin from a grenade.
Hilarious. The other thing is, as a director, I just want to say, as a director,
It's your podcast.
it was so intense
Yeah.
in assembly, and she was in tears,
And she doesn't move.
and I think she's an amazing woman, and an amazing comic, and an amazing writer, and an incredible performer.
And a comedian.
I did say comic.
Yeah, I
Pay
was just
attention,
checking.
Noel. Pay
Because
attention.
I'll be honest with you, I've never seen it, I've never heard of it. Which I told you I've never been to Edinburgh for 10 years. So when you said just now, one of the reasons why she went down so well is because there's a certain section of people in Edinburgh who love all that deep stuff. Therefore, I'm thinking, all right.
You thought, oh, I'm fucked.
No, I'm not thinking that. I'm just thinking, is there a level of pretentiousness
Yes.
then?
Oh, massively. Don't be ridiculous. This is
I mean,
Edinburgh.
would
Huge.
working class people, or your basic.
Is one of the big things, and it's I just want to ask your man on the end there, Gareth.
Yeah.
Did you feel at all when you saw the Sydney Opera House, coming back to the working classes, because it's a very good point, God, this is shit's getting real, people.
Yeah.
After doing a whole Edinburgh run, and then a Soho run, and then all around the world, and then recording it for Netflix. This might just be me being a rancid old bitch. But you can't cry for real all these times. That has to be
A performance.
a performance.
And do you know what? I think that, they did cross my mind. Because, it is a performance. But then again, you train yourself, and it's a bit of muscle memory to do that. It cannot be...
It's comedy.
For me,
It's comedy
but-
acting then.
But then comedy is different, and something so personal when she's talking about being raped is different from acting, isn't it? It's completely different.
What? She talks about being raped.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, I don't think, unless you've been through something like that, I don't think anyone can imagine what that feeling is like. So I don't think we can say. So that must be incredibly moving every time you say those words. So the job that I'm in, no, that I couldn't comment on that. That's incredibly personal, and for her to stand there and say it night after night in front of so many people, I think that is very, very brave. And that's not a directing thing. That's a personal thing.
Did you find her funny?
Do you know, I've found her funny in other shows, actually. I've seen her at the Roxy here. I can't remember the name of the show, but it was about paintings.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, again,
and she brings up paintings and Picasso, and she's got a very, very valid point about Picasso, and you should watch it.
I think
You mean
brave.
she took a year off?
Hilarious.
Thank you.
Brave is an adjective I'm getting very tired of hearing when it's applied to comedy. But you've got...
You applied it yourself. It was nice. Good job.
Yes, I know.
And you said it was a good thing.
I didn't. I just said it.
Oh, okay.
But back to, because we're fast running out of time here, which is a bit of a bummer, because I'm enjoying this. You were talking about
all
working
comedians
class.
are brave. Anybody who goes on stage by themselves in front of a group of strangers, you can't argue that is a brave thing to do. I mean, it may not be a very good thing sometimes, it may not be a very satisfying thing from the audience's point of view, but it is a brave thing to do.
But that kind of bravery can be driven by rampant egotism
It
and
can be driven by all
complete
sorts
lack
of things.
self-awareness.
Well, the whole Edinburgh Fringe Festival, you could say, is driven by capitalistic greed. You know what I mean? There's all sorts of motives behind art, so-called art.
Well, you mentioned the working classes a little while ago. It's been a bit of a thing with comedy that a lot of people are saying there isn't that all this woke shit is, and I use the word advisedly.
Woke or shit?
Woke. No shit. No, woke is. Even when I'm on the of woke, I'm already irritated. I'm overwhelmed with a desire to smack somebody's face, which of itself is not a very woke thing to be thinking.
Could you explain woke?
A woke is basically offended by absolutely everything. And then if that's not offended enough, being prepared to be offended by things that you haven't even heard of yet.
Well, I'm sorry, that really offends me.
Yeah.
Well, there, now, you see, you're woke.
You're almost there, man.
You're woke.
You're woke.
You are totally woke.
I feel awoke.
Yeah. It's trigger warnings and, he looked at me in a funny way, so now I'm in therapy and
All right, okay.
all of that. But the
Oh, you mean like political correctness gone mad in a way?
Yes.
political correctness
Exactly.
gone mad.
Excellent.
Sorry, gone mentally disabled.
Yeah.
Differently
gone chat.
able, not disabled.
But I'm going to, because I just want to ask about the working class thing, I'm going to ask our man with the headphones if we can have 5 more minutes. And he's nodding, and I think it's possibly because he's drunk. He's on his third pint of Blue Moon. And frankly, if we were going to stay here for another hour, he'd be happy. Anyway, there's... who's leaving? We've got to walk out. Oh my God.
I'll be back, I promise.
He's bailed out, Bailers.
Bailed out. Anyway, we don't need him. He's an actor type. He's a theatre type. But there's a big thing, quite a big thing. All right, it's not really a big thing unless you're a comic. At this fringe about comedy that is sort of buying for the working classes, because they've never, it was the working classes that fell about the place laughing, and I think probably still would fall about the place laughing at the Bernard Mannings and all those basic knee-jerk reaction jokes.
Like right-wing comedy.
Well, it's not right-wing, really. It's,
there's a show by a guy called Leo Kern.
Yeah.
I'm not Leo Kurz. I'm not seeing the show. I know the title is Right Wing Comedy, and I know that Jeff Norcott does a show. Now I'm not seeing it. I was thinking about this. In the old days, you could say like old school comedians like Bernard Manning would actually do jokes which would use ethnic minorities as the target. And today, you could argue that completely ties in with a right-wing point of view, i.e. anti-immigrant, anti-anybody who's not fitting to the white, whatever it is, right? But at the time when Bernard Manning was telling those jokes, the audience he was playing to loved it. So you couldn't say he was more racist than the audience than the people. Now, I think somebody today, the times are changing, so people... I mean, when alternative comedy started in the 80s, it was a backlash to Thatcherism. It was all left-wing. It was 99% comedians in London, then they spread out, they were all like Mark Thomas, Kevin Day, lots of all left-wing. And I often wonder, is there anything funny about right-wing politics at all? Because there's no irony in it. But then times are changing, because when you say stuff about Thatcher or stuff about the Tories, it's funny because you're making fun of the oppressor, you're making fun of the authority. But because we are living in really weird times, I can understand people want to debate more about things that you couldn't debate before without being seen as a racist. So I don't think I agree with you in a way. I don't think there is such a thing as right-wing comedy, but you can talk about right-wing stuff within the comedy.
But it's not right-wing. These shows that say it's right-wing comedy, it's not right-wing. All it is not what is seen as acceptable by the so-called liberal left. Now,
well, that is right-wing, isn't it?
No! Oh my God, you're all going to have to come back next week and we can continue this discussion then. Because one of the points, apart from the fact that I think she's a comedy genius, of having Martha McBrier here this week was that she brought a tarot card.
A what?
She brought her tarot card.
Oh, really?
She's not just a comedy genius.
Oh, wow.
She foretells the future.
Nice one.
Now, we're going to have to go off air now. Otherwise, people listening to this are going to get bored shitless because it's already over an hour long.
Can I just ask one thing?
Yeah, if you could.
I just thought, Matt, could you comment on what you think about this so-called right-wing comedy?
I think, blimey.
In a second, and make it hilariously funny, because now you're a well-promoted comic and you're on in a paying venue.
Absolutely. I think there's a market for it.
I'm amazed.
That's funny.
They laugh.
I like it.
Absolutely hilarious. Now, while we're still riding on the crest of that laugh,
Yes.
it is in the words of much funnier comics than I was going to see anyone around this table, but that would be horrible. It's good night from me, and it's good night from him. Noel.
Good night.
Good night from him.
Good night.
Good night from him.
Good night.
Good night from
Good
him.
night again, yeah. Good night.
Try and sound more enthusiastic, Matt.
That's not nice, is it? You're like gone from critic to director now. Good night.
Good night from her.
Good night.
Oh, that was nice. And good night from him.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, we're going in. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay, we're
1.
starting again.
No, we're not starting again. But this is
They didn't get it. They didn't have it on. We're going to have to do it
No,
all
no,
again.
this is-
I
this
don't
is-
remember what you said.
Okay, this is technically what they call in theatre an encore, or what they call in podcasting terms, the host fucked up and completely forgot to ask anybody apart from Noel where their bloody show was on. So we're going to do that now, and it's all going to be seamlessly edited into whatever. Anyway, right, so Noel, remind us where and when your marvellous show is on.
Well, my performance is called Lumber Puncture. It's on at 6:15 most nights in the Opium Bar, which is opposite the Underbelly. It's also on at another bar called Clutie Dumplings, but that's only for 2 nights, and I don't want to talk
Oh,
about
now hang on. Say Clutie Dumpling again.
Clutie Dumpling. Clutie Dumpling.
Now then, because obviously we have star and director here, but more important than both of them together, we've got producer.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
tell
Blah, blah, ha, ha.
Some clutchy dumplings in our show, I wish.
So, all right, let's do it. On the count of 3, all 3 of you tell me where and when Benny is on. 1, 2, 3.
Gilded Balloon,
Wine Bar.
TV at Wine Bar,
2:45.
And just very briefly, I mean, it might take a little bit of time because you've got dozens of shows. What other shows have you got up here?
Magic 8 Ball, My Life with Asperger's, a
Great
solo
show.
show about autism. Yeah.
Great show.
Chemo Barbie about surviving breast cancer. Agatha is Missing, a murder mystery comedy about Agatha Christie. Benny, we've talked about, and That Woman, Wallace Simpson, the Duchess of Windsor, all at Gilded Balloon TV. And Elvis Presley is on at the Frankenstein Pub as well.
Oh yeah, what a voice.
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw.
Yeah, he's back.
I
There
did
you go.
Sister Mary MacArthur's show the other day,
Yes,
and he was just coming out. Absolutely rammed. Now, Matt.
Gilded Balloon TV at Wee Room. Last night a Ouija saved my life. It's the title, Ouija being Glaswegian, and it's at 7 p.m.
And Martha.
7:15 p.m. The Counting House. Fur coat, no knickers. Thank you.
But also, just because you're the only one here apart from me that can, I need you to say Clutie Dumpling. Last night a Ouija saved my life, and just repeat the name of your show. Just because you're the only one here apart from me that can speak Glaswegian.
Clutie Dumpling.
Nice, excellent.
Last night a Ouija saved my life.
Oh, fabulous.
What was the other thing?
Your show.
Your show.
No. Right, okay. Fur coat, knee knickers.
Fur coat, no knickers. Thank you.
It actually sounds quite polite when you say it. Right, anyway, this little bit on the end here is going to be seamlessly worked into the body of the show that's already overrun, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.